Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. We're back in what is known as the violin studio here at Haggerty's Music Works. You might not be able to see violins on screen, but we can see violins from where we're sitting. Yeah. There's a few violins, which reminds me that Haggerty's Music Works, and thanks to them as always, is the home of violin pros. Did I get that right, Johnny? And since we're featuring a Gibson guitar that we're going to talk more about, Haggerty's Music Works is also an authorized Gibson dealer.
No kidding.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Come see them for all of your Gibson needs. Unless, well, we'll talk more about that. Thank you to Haggerty's Music Works. Please like and subscribe their YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and share my YouTube channel, Matthew Trask, to watch Old Faithful. Thank you for your support. Thanks as always to the incomparable Johnny Hastings, making me and my guests look good. And please support my friends, Black Hills Blend Espresso. Without further ado, Mr. Paul Larson, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We have a whole bunch to talk about.
We do.
But why don't we just start with a little bit about you? Or a lot bit, however much you want to give us.
Okay, well, I'm a South Dakotan now. I've been here for 20 years.
Welcome.
Yes. I won't talk about where I was from.
Okay, sounds good.
It's a place you don't want to be from. You want to...
We sure won't mention it now. Right. I don't want to offend the people from there.
No, we don't want to do that. No. But, you know, I was born and raised there, didn't have a choice, but when I had a chance to come to South Dakota, I took it.
Well, you know, I understand. Yeah.
Right on. That was 20 years ago.
What brought you here?
Rodeo.
Rodeo.
Yeah. I was working for Don Buffington down out of Hermosa.
Okay.
And every spring and fall, you'd have to come out and round up cattle and bucking bulls and horses and things and load them up, take them back to Minnesota.
Okay.
And put on rodeos.
I see.
And so we'd come out here and do that. And I always thought if I ever had a chance to move here, I would certainly do it. And
right.
That happened a while ago.
So this show is about guitars and music, but so you took Don's stock, and I never quite got to meet Don.
Oh, he was the greatest guy.
He was, by all accounts, a hell of a guy.
Straight up cowboy right there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, for sure. Yep. But so you took the stock back to Minnesota for the rodeo season?
For the rodeo season, for the summer, yeah.
So were you kind of the caretaker of the stock?
No, I just worked. There was quite a few different guys that worked for him, but I was judged for him and then helped do things around the ranch.
Okay, all right.
And feed things as we were traveling across the states.
Sure.
You know, Wisconsin, Iowa,
so you
South
go
Dakota,
all around.
North Dakota. Yeah.
We might, even if we don't have time, do you have one good rodeo stock wreck story that we need to hear?
A wreck story. Well, some that we don't really want to. One time we were over Irene, South Dakota.
Okay.
We were there, and everybody went to town to have breakfast or whatever, except for me and Duke, Don's grandson.
Sure.
And I was setting up the arena because I'm judging. So I was setting up, you know, the barrel pattern and straps on the barriers on the timed event shoots. And some guy came in and left the gate open. Now, we fed everything in that arena. So every bull, every bucking horse, everything's out that gate.
Right.
And it was just me and old Duke left there and there's cornfields all around this arena.
Oh my.
So we had one old lame pony that didn't make it out the gate. And so we took that pony, saddled him up, and I went out in this farmer's cornfield. And, and I was able to get everything back into that arena by myself. And that was a good day. And Duke was like, his grandson was like, I'm so glad we got these in before Grandpa got home. And he no more than said it. Here comes Don through the gate.
That's one of them days where when you get off the lame pony, you have to go, thank you, Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah. So
all three wheels worked that day.
Back to guitar and music. How did you get started playing and singing?
It always starts with a girl.
Oh, okay, sure.
There was a young one in high school that, you know, I wanted to get close to, and she gave guitar lessons. So I thought, I'll get guitar lessons. I didn't even have a guitar.
Okay.
But I went there anyways and got a few lessons.
Right.
And guitar lessons too.
And guitar lessons too?
Yeah. So that was good. And then I ended up being a canoe guide up in the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota.
Okay.
And everybody there played music because there was very little radio and no TV.
Sure.
So we were up there a ways in the Boundary Waters, and so I went to town to a junk shop and bought me a guitar and learned how to play guitar.
I see.
So
the gal didn't teach you much. You had to really learn.
Well, she taught me the basic chords.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
But these other guys that were canoe guides, they introduced me to John Prine.
Okay.
The John Prine music.
Right.
And so that made me hungry. Between John Prine and Jerry Jeff Walker.
Right.
I wanted to learn more about this contraption.
Rest in peace to both of them. They
Right
recently
on.
passed away.
Yes, this last year.
Well, what a story. Do we remember what that first guitar was?
The very first guitar was an Ibanez.
It was an Ibanez.
Yeah. And it was a nice guitar. It treated me well. Went from there to an Eastman that I actually bought here.
Okay.
At Haggerty's.
Right.
And Bruce Newbert talked me into it. And what a great guitar.
Right.
Bought a what am I thinking of? The more popular guitar that everybody plays now. Seems like
Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bought a Taylor here, but the Taylor didn't quite sound. It was a little bright for my voice.
Okay.
So then we kept with the Ibanez, and then we went to that Eastman.
Okay.
And great guitar player from Sioux Falls, Boyd Bristow. He looked at me and he says, "Just play the Eastman because it matches your voice." Well, then the Eastman had a wreck. It shrunk, and so I was in the process of. I was still playing the Taylor, in the process of looking for my own baby guitar.
Right.
And an old player who passed away, Ricky Jacobson. Ricky was from Deadwood, Lee.
Okay.
Played great. He played with a lot of bands, and he goes, "Larson, you need a Gibson. We need to go to Bozeman and find you a Gibson." Well, we never got there.
Okay.
But 3 years ago now, I went out to Kennewick, Washington to play a Cowboy gig. It's called Cowboy Idol.
All right.
And on the way out there, we stopped at the Villa, which is a guitar store in Bozeman, where this one was hanging.
Aha.
And I was looking at all the cheapy,
Right.
Well, I think it's cheap,
Right.
1,000, 1,500. And my girlfriend at the time, fiance, I guess you could say, Amy, she said, "There's a guitar back here you need to go see." In this little special room. I had to take my belt off, my vest. Couldn't have buttons,
Right.
Couldn't have metal buttons on it because you're going into the big boys guitar store. And this one was sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
And so I picked it up and played it a little bit, and I put it back down. I mean, I don't want to play it because I seen the price tag on it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
Right.
But when I played it again, it actually made me want to play better.
Right.
And I thought, well, I don't have the money, so we'll just set it on the shelf, and we'll go on over to Washington and do our little Cowboy gig over there. And got that done. It was in Kennewick, it was called the Cowboy Idol.
Okay.
And Cowboy Idol is like, American Idol,
Right.
way smaller and
Sure.
all about cowboy music.
Sure. More Copenhagen.
I ended up kissing my sister. I ended up taking second.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't win it. I thought I had it in the bag, but
kissing my sister. Okay, gotcha.
So second, second place.
Right.
Nobody remembers second place.
No, they don't.
They remember first.
Right.
But it was a great experience. I caught up with some of my relatives, my old uncle, and a few people I hadn't seen forever. So it was a good trip. On the way back, Amy says to me, "We should stop back and look at that guitar." And I said, "I don't know. I can't afford it."
Right.
She goes, "I'll pay for half." Now it's
Wow.
like within reach.
Right.
So we went back and sat down and played it some more, talked to the sales guys, and got them down a couple grand.
Okay.
So now it's more affordable.
Right. Yeah.
So we ended up taking it home, but when they brought out the guitar case for it, almost broke the deal because the inside of that guitar case is pretty plush.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting that kind of a deal for this guitar, but when you play the guitar and listen to it, it is so me, because it fits me so well.
Just looking at it, it's so
just
you.
just makes you want to play better.
Play more?
Because it's so rich.
Have you gotten to play better?
I think I have. I think I have.
Yeah.
Since I think the guys that I play music with here in South Dakota all have agreed that I've come a long ways in the last 3-4 years. So.
Do you play more per day or week since you got this?
Yes.
You do?
Well, last year, even with the COVID deal, I played almost 90 gigs.
Okay, sure.
And most other players were sitting on the sideline, so to speak, or whatever, worried about.
Right.
But we did 50 shows, chuck wagon dinner shows at Palmer Gulch.
Okay, yeah.
And that went like a dream. I mean, it was just I played with Kenny Putnam and Chet Murray.
Right.
The two, we'd switch off or play together, whichever. And gosh, it worked good.
Right.
So this year, I'm already up to about 90 shows again booked.
Wow.
Before the season even starts.
Good for you. But also at home, do you play more?
Oh
on
yes,
this guitar?
all the time. And you know, you can go to the Moonshine Gulch Saloon in Rochford on Sunday afternoon and jam.
Right.
And we were there last Sunday, and there was a couple other players. There was a young lady from Rapid here that I got her information, but she needs to be playing more too. So so it's kind of fun to be able to go out and meet new people, play music, play this guitar, because when you bring it out, everybody knows that it's kind of a special guitar.
Well, yes. You're a part-time cowboy at least.
Yes.
And you go to camping trips and trail rides and backyard things.
Yep.
Do you take this all the time, or
Not
do you
all the time,
sometimes
no.
trot the Eastman?
It depends upon weather.
Okay,
you know,
sure.
because cowboy's heart is light as a feather in all kinds of weather, but not the guitar.
Right, exactly.
And so the Eastman that I bought from here comes with me on the bad weather days because it sounds great no matter what.
Right.
You know, and it's so arid here in South Dakota that if a guitar gets a little wet, it's not a problem.
Right. Yeah.
Even at your dad's picnic party that we do. It rained pretty hard one year, and just let it get a drink and put it in the case, wipe it off when you're done, and it was all good. The rain was coming sideways that afternoon.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, it works great.
We probably should talk about what this guitar is for those who've been waiting for that. It is a Gibson SJ200.
SJ200
in
Retro.
Sunburst. Retro.
Yes.
It's a custom shop.
It's a custom shop.
Yeah.
It has bone tuning pegs, and on the bridge it's all bone, and so the inlay here on the sides is bone as well.
Okay.
And so it brings up the level of the sound, I think.
Right.
Even. It's just amazing how it I was watching you interview Joe Wilt. And Joe's talking about the old dirty guitar.
Right, yeah.
And I have a really hard time letting this guitar get dirty.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, it's had its fair share of outings.
Right.
And it's never, ever, ever let me down. So
wow.
It's pretty nice. It's great.
Well, whether or not you keep them clean or dirty, there is something to be said for years of the top resonating.
Right.
It, in most cases, I think,
and
makes
as you know,
better.
as this guitar, it's got the zebra on the back.
Oh, sure.
And it seems to get better.
Right.
With the days, it gets richer.
Sure.
I like that. I call it my big bottom gal.
Right.
But
she is a big gal.
But she has this projection that even if you sing without amplification,
right,
the
guys in the back
matches your voice.
Yeah. Sure. So it's a spruce top and maple back and sides, it looks like. Yep. Do we know what the neck is made out of? Does it matter to us?
I do not know.
Okay. But it looks like it very well could be maple as well.
Exactly. It's a very hard, it's just a really, really, really nice guitar.
Is this the nicest playing guitar you've ever had?
Ever had.
Okay.
Now, my problem is because I am a construction guy.
Right.
My fingers are a little stronger than most musicians.
Right.
So when I first got this guitar, I was pressing too hard.
Right.
Because it plays so easy compared to my other guitars.
Sure.
And so I had to relearn how to make the guitar sound better for me because it kept bottoming out and buzzing.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we did a little neck adjustment, and I learned how to play softer.
Did you go with heavier strings or just eased up?
It's a light.
Okay.
Not an ultralight or not a medium.
Right.
It's a light string.
Okay.
And it seems that string does way better. You know,
sure.
elixirs is
right.
what I use.
Yeah.
And it seems to work out. They last a little longer because I play fairly hard anyways.
Right.
Especially when I'm yodeling or doing that kind of
right.
stuff. You're
sure.
playing louder to keep up with your voice. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, if you don't have a good ride, a good stick,
right.
It's no different than roping calves at a rodeo.
Right, yeah.
You better have...
You got to have a good one.
You better be mounted just right.
Yeah. We're going to just mic him today. This guitar has electronics, right?
It does, yeah.
And so you will plug it in quite often?
Plug it in, but it needs a preamp.
Okay.
You know, because there is no actual battery in this guitar.
Yeah. What do you use for a preamp?
I've got a Bags, you know, that I like a lot.
Right.
And it seems to work really good with almost any sound
sure.
system.
Yeah.
But when you go to these cowboy gatherings, like I've been down at Durango, Valentine, Nebraska, Durango, Colorado, Valentine, Nebraska, out to Kennewick, the sound guys are pretty amazing, and they usually have everything set up for you, so you can just go and do your sound check.
A good sound guy is worth his weight in gold.
Oh,
yeah.
Big time, yes.
One thing we definitely have to talk about, somehow this is the first cinch guitar strap that we've had on the show.
Oh.
I don't know how that can be. I'm a cowboy. Can you pull the scarf back, the wild rag back just a little?
Sure, we can do this.
Oh, hey, look at there.
See, that's my horse brand.
Yeah, so that was custom made.
Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law had this made for me for Christmas one year.
Awesome.
And then a saddle maker, because the cinches keep stretching. So I decided to put leather all the way through so it stayed a little more stable.
All right.
So basically the cinch is for show.
Sure.
But it helps with my gig. And
I never knew that a cinch would stretch, I guess.
Yeah, this is a mohair one too, so it's a pretty good quality cinch. But yeah, the more you use it, it'll just sag down on you.
Really?
So I put the leather strap underneath the whole thing.
I'll say it's a full latigo, more or less, underneath the cinch.
Yep.
But a cinch is pleasing to look at and adjustable and wide and comfortable. So
we were playing up in Deadwood here a week ago and at a little bar tavern, which is now a new music scene in Deadwood called Jacob's Brewhouse and Grocer. And there were some cowboys in there, and they were like trying to figure out what was going on with this cinch, you know, because they didn't see them much.
I think there's some cowboys in Deadwood, South Dakota, dang near any day of the week.
Dang near any day of the week,
right. What
these were bona fide cowboys, not wannabes.
Yeah, well,
ranchers.
you know, takes all kinds.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you get a day off, go to Deadwood, you get thirsty.
That's it,
yeah. Tell us where we can find you on the internet and how we can get a hold of you and about your albums. And
just go to PL Cowboy Music.
PLCowboymusic.com.
PaulLarsonCowboymusic.com.
Okay.
Or you can just Google Cowboy Music South Dakota, or
all right.
There's like 5 different words that you can get on the website.
Okay, sure.
And so we have been doing a poor job of keeping up the website.
Right.
But now this winter we've got some time, so we're going to bring it up to speed. And try and get the word out as to where we're playing.
Oh, good. That helps a bunch. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can show up if they don't know where to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
So like, you know, some guys, when you like going to Durango or even Valentine or whatever, there was a guy, he passed away, old Bill Barwick, just last year too. And he goes, I get paid to travel. I'm playing for free. You know, but still, you get paid pretty good. There's a few gigs that, you know, I've been paid, you know, up to $200 a song.
Right.
At these cowboy gatherings because you only play so many and then you're gone.
Right.
So it's pretty. You know, I went to Durango, got $1,200 for 5 songs.
Wow.
But of course, it took a little money to get there.
Yeah, it'll take a little money to get there
and
for
back.
sure.
So it's kind of fun. You know, it's more than a hobby now.
Right.
It's pretty serious business. So.
Johnny, you and I need to buy hats and start singing about rodeo, don't we?
That's right.
Yeah.
Sing some cowboy stuff.
You have an album or 2.
We got 2.
2 albums, and that we can get on plmusic.com.
Yep, you just go there and go. And my mail room will get them out to you.
Your mail room.
Yeah, me.
The bustling Paul Larson mail room. Yeah. Are you writing new songs, recording anything?
I have 5 of my own that I've actually produced my own.
Okay.
And I've got 3 more in the works. So
okay.
I'm trying to build to my own CD, having my own originals.
Okay,
on
sure.
the CD, but I borrow a few from Robert.
Sure.
And of course Chris Ledoux and some of them guys. But I'd like to have my very own CD of just my songs.
Of original songs.
Yeah.
So the first 2 albums were not exclusively originals. No. Were there any originals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them have original songs on them.
But not all.
But I was covering
most
of a lot of different songs.
So can we look for the Paul Larson original album here in 2021?
That's what we're working on. Yeah.
Are you going to guarantee that, or should we hold off?
We're not going to guarantee it because COVID still is lingering around.
Right. COVID is lingering for sure. Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it myself. I've had it. Been there, done it. Done through it.
I just interviewed a guy on the show, in fact, it aired 2 days ago, who recorded an album last year. And one thing you should think about is that many of your talented musician friends are off the road.
Right.
And they're looking for a job. So if you wanted some of them to come play on your album, they're not doing nothing.
Well, we have a little band called Campfire Concerto.
Okay.
Which is myself and Kenny Putnam, Bo Bristow, and Chet Murray.
Right.
And so those guys will all be on the next CD.
So it'll be good.
It should be good.
Sure, you bet. Awesome.
They were on the last CD, Home, that I produced, and it's a really nice. I mean, most of the time when I buy somebody's CD, I'll like 2 or 3 songs on it. But I don't like 7 or 8.
Right.
And I know it's my CD.
Right.
But I like 7 or 8 of them on my CD.
That's good.
So that's
were there any that you didn't like?
Of my own, the ones I recorded, I think there could have been a different way of doing them.
Oh, okay.
Which would have made them better.
Sure.
So we'll work on it.
We'll do it again. Yeah, there's always 2021. You bet.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Are we about done talking? We'll
if
give
you
you a
are,
song.
I am.
All right. Let's see here. Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC? I'm bleeding for some reason. Don't worry, I'm fine. 515-0858, large, round, and square bales. Ian Tyson says, change your strings. Paul Larson, everybody.
He jumped in the saddle the day he was born. Life on the trail was dust, tails, and horn. At night he lay under a blanket of stars. If out of the lonesome he'd strum his guitar. Tie up your horses, take off your guns, and show you how the West was swung.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Paul.
We'll see you.
You bet.